In this video, we're going to be creating a very simple test room in Blender and bringing it into a new Godot project. I'm also going to set up a GitHub for this Godot project so that you can see how that process is done and what it looks like. So let's go ahead and create a new Blender file. I'm going to set some stuff up here. I'm actually going to get rid of this camera and I'm going to get rid of the light source. I'm also going to get rid of the cube for now. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out another window here. I'm going to change this window to UV editor, and that's going to look like that. And just for my own sanity's sake, because I find it hard to see some of the things in here sometimes, I'm going to turn on depth of field, cavity, and shadow, and we're going to turn those things on in here. I think I also want to turn on backface culling. I won't yet. Okay, in here I'm also going to change this to texture so that we can see our texture in this mode here. So the way that we're going to do this, I'm going to add in a mesh. I'm going to add in a plane. I'm going to do this like with planes. It's going to be much more straightforward. And let's go ahead and I'm going to go into top view, which is 7. I'm going to hit tab. Now I'm not worried about the scale in here. We can always scale things up in Godot. We can scale things up later. You want to have kind of a visual scale. So everything should be like in proportion, but we can scale it up and down. So that's not a problem. So this here, I'm just going to turn on some grid snapping up the top here by increment and move it so that we get a larger room. And then I'm going to go ahead, do some ring cuts on here. It's kind of annoying. I did figure out a way to do ring cuts, align them exactly to the grid. It's not a big deal here, to be honest. I'm going to grab these two, extrude them out that way, give us a hallway, and we'll do the same thing, extrude it again, but bring these up. Now I am going to change this from increment to vertex, and then when I hit G, oops, I hit E, and is that the y-axis? I can click on this vertex, I'll get the exact same height there. GY, oops, EY, click there. I can add some ring cuts here. So I'm just making a very simple test room. Switch that back to increment. And then you put a ring cut here. And again, over here, it's going to have kind of a few hallways. Oops. Extrude that along the Y down to there. Ring cut there. And then I'll extrude this all the way along to here. Then I'm going to just select all those there and hit merge by distance. And since it didn't remove the vertices, I'll just turn this up a little bit until it removes 2 vertices. Now that's not perfectly straight there. That's all good. All right, so I'm going to go into edge mode now. And I'm going to go around and select all these edges. Just holding Alt and Shift to do this. Okay, that looks like all the edges. And I'm going to bring it up along the Z-axis a reasonable amount. Okay, I want it to be in proportion. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Okay, lastly, oh, how did I do this? Right click. It is not bridge. It's fill. There we go, fill. Okay, so then I've got this here. Now, I think this is why I wanted to use backface, cull backface. So currently, if I turn backface culling on, the back faces are not shown, which is good because now I can see kind of into my model. It's much easier to work with. Only the front faces are showing. If yours is kind of inside out, you'll want to select the whole model with A, hit F3 and type recalculate inside like that. If yours is showing like this, I'll just do it like this. If you can't see inside, you've done it wrong, and you can just recalculate those normals so that the things are facing inside. All right, so next part, we're going to select those bottom faces there. So I have to go to edge mode, Ooh, that's going to be annoying, isn't it? Let's do it this way. Go side view and turn on X-ray. Select all those top faces like that. And let's just hide them for now. It'll be much easier to hide them. So these bottom faces though, again, we can just go into side view and we can draw along that bottom area, select these bottom faces, and we're going to add a material to this. So this material is going to be called MAT. I'm going to give a pretty simple naming convention. It's important that you do this because if you don't name things different when you bring them into Godot, all materials that have the word material in them will just become one and everything will get the same texture. It'll be really strange. So I'm going to call this matte floor 01 or matte floor dark. And I'm going to go ahead and apply an image to this. I'm not going to use the nodes. It's the only thing we need to really do is apply a single texture. So I'm going to click on this here and click image texture and click open. And I need to find in my downloads, in my Doom mods, in here, in textures, I can switch this to this one and let's grab, this is the one I'm going to use for the ground, open image. So turning off the X-ray, what I've got here is that image, but it's really hard to see. Okay, it's actually really massive. So what I need to do is to unwrap this. So what I'm going to do with this is instead of just unwrapping, I could just unwrap the whole thing, unwrap. It comes in over there like that. Actually, it's pretty easy to do it this way. Select all of that and then just scale it up really big. It's kind of hard to see on here, but it is in there and you can see the floor. I may scale it down a little bit. Okay, so there's the floor and that's looks like a Doom floor. I might go down and turn the roughness all the way up, the specularity down. Now this is getting shadow cast on. I'm just going to turn that shadow off actually so that you can see it without the shadow. And the specularity, that's really shouldn't be like that. There we go, lighting, flat. That's what we want. We just want to see the material on there. Now this wall needs an issue, but if I just do the same thing with the wall and hit U, unwrap, it comes out a very different shape. I also don't want this same material on it. Instead, what I need to do, let's set up a material first. So we'll select that wall, go to material, going to apply new one, new material, give it a proper name, MAT, wall, tech. It's going to be my techie looking wall. And I'm just going to pick a random wall. Doesn't matter. I'm going to hit U. I'm going to unwrap that wall. Now it comes in sideways. We can fix that in a sec. Then I'm going to select all the walls and make this one that I just unwrapped the active one. And I'm going to hit U and click follow active quads and click OK. Now that's just going to kind of put them all in one big straight row. I'm going to click on this other one and click assign so we get that. And I'm going to go to base color and change the image texture, open, textures. I'm going to use, where is the wall? I'll use this wall here. Actually, not that, it's not quite straight. I'm going to use this one and click open image. So I've got this wall, select everything, rotate that 90 degrees so we get it like that, scale it up so that it kind of fits, scale it a bit more. There we go. So I've got that wall on there. Done. Now, of course, I should have done it to here as well. So you unwrap, select all of those. Not sure what I just did then. Assign it to that and hit you follow active quads. And then you can rotate that way and scale it up to the right size or close to it. Okay, so I've got that there and that's pretty good. Now, if you want to put this on a slight angle, you can. So what I might do here is grab these. Oh, our final thing is to get that ceiling done. So I've Alt H and put that on. This one is also very simple. You unwrap, we can just use that there, and I'm going to assign it to the other material. So to switch between images over here, there is a tool here. Just have to scroll along, switch to that one, and then I'm just going to scale it up a bunch. That'll do. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can kind of see it on the roof there. Maybe scroll down a little bit. There we go. All right. So this here is ready to go. Now we need to start a new project in Godot. Firstly, what I'm going to do is start the GitHub project to start with. So I'm going to open GitHub desktop. You may want to use GitHub another way. I've just found this pretty straightforward. I'm going to create a new repository in here. You may have to sign up. I'm not going to cover that. Give it a name. So I'm going to call it Luke RS Doom clone, and choose a path for it. I've chosen my d:\/ path, and then create repository. So this is going to, if I click on show in Explorer, it's going to create a repository in here. So in my Godot folder, Luke RS Doom clone, there it is. Now to make a new Godot project, I'm going to open Godot and new project. Now I'm going to type that same path in, d:\/ and the project name is going to be the same, Luke RS Doom clone. Create folder. Okay, that's fine. Oops, browse. There we go. And it shouldn't create a new folder. So I should be able to go create an edit. Hopefully I got this around the right way, because I don't want to redo the whole video. And if not, I'll just show you the fix. I may have done something in the wrong order. Let's see. No, that was it. So there's my Godot project inside this GitHub project folder. And now, don't know what happened then. Now it's showing 7 change files, so I can commit this. I'll do that at the end. All right, so let's go back into Godot, back into Blender, sorry. I'm gonna go File, Export. Be a good idea to save this as well. Export as GLTF, straight into Godot Doom clone. Make a new folder for it, maybe call it Blender Imports. And I'll give this test level. I use GLTF or GLB. Those seem to work pretty well with Godot. And I come down here. If it comes in with an X, just go import and click re-import, and it'll generally work. You'll see I've got those materials in here. They're named properly, and my test level. Just to check it works, double click it, just click new inherited, and you should see your test level there. Okay, so, and you should be able to kind of see inside. The lighting will be kind of funny, but the ceiling is there, the floor is there, everything's all good. And we want to kind of lose that sheen. We'll talk about these things in a bit more detail later, but very quickly, you can go to Material, go to Roughness, and turn that roughness all the way up, and Metallic, turn the specularity all the way down, and that will make it lose that shininess that it has. Same for the other thing. Metallic all the way down, roughness all the way up, and we've got it. You could do those in Blender as well, and they will hopefully transfer across. Okay, so that's our test level. And one final thing is, if we go to flags, there is a way to, may have to do it in the next video. There's a way to hide it, as you've seen in the other one, where I can do the back face culling as well. I'll have to find where that is, but that will be in the next video.